theory. Welcome to Florida Alumni Radio, 1010 a.m. I am Schreiner. We are once again gathered at Dick's House of Sports to sit down and talk with some of the great student athletes that are matriculating through the University of South Florida. Today, as we go through introductions, we're joined by sophomore C.J. Brown with the University of South Florida men's basketball team. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. How are you guys?
All right, we're going to have you speak right into that because we're going to want to hear all the great things and anecdotes and stories behind this great season that you're having and the journey you made to get to the University of South Florida and what's going to happen moving forward. Everybody's kind of riding a high right now, so we're glad to have you with us. And, of course, we're joined again from Dick's House of Sport. We have Keyshawn Hepburn, who will help us learn all about the wonderful things that are happening here at Dick's. So why don't we start a little bit with you, because I know that CJ and I are going to spend most of the time talking ball and his journey and what it's like to be a student athlete at this point in time at the University of South Florida with so many exciting things happening in multiple sports. But why don't you tell us a little bit about Dick's House of Sport and why it's special? You have more here than just, it's not just Dick's Sporting Goods that many of us grew up with. Explain some of the differences and why it's special that families come here.
Yes, Dick's House of Sport is super special. We have experiences along with elevated products. So we have a field where you can come out and play. You can test your cleats. You can ride your bike out there to see if you like it before you make the purchase. We also have a rock wall that you can climb, a Hit-Trax cage where you can go in and test the bat before you purchase it or play games, and also a golf simulator. So really some awesome experiences that you can come in store and enjoy, and then along with the elevated product that we offer.
Right. Well, and the great thing about being able to try these products in this unique way, it's not like you're just standing there swinging a ball, a bat in an aisle or a club in an aisle and hope you don't hit somebody on the backswing. You're actually seeing if that is the right product for you, right size, right fit. So you're getting the best tools to go out and play your game.
Absolutely. And we have knowledgeable teammates in store we like to call experts who can help you make those decisions as well. So if you're looking for someone to tell you which bat will work well, which glove would fit, we even have a golf pro that'll help you with your swing. So really great teammates here to help you make decisions as well.
I do want to talk a little bit about the summer camp sessions you have coming up. It's not too early to start looking at filling in that time for the kids over the summer, keeping them active instead of sedentary with their phones. You want them to get out there and pick up that club or that bat. What is Dick's House of Sport doing for summer?
Yes, we have 3 summer camps, 2 in June and 1 in July. It's called Find Your Passion Sport, so you get to explore and play all of the sports that we offer in store. We'll have a teammate out there with you as well. So it's just a great opportunity to come out to House of Sport. It's from 9:30 to 12:30. So it's a shortened day, but you get to experience a different sport each day. So we'll have lacrosse, we'll have basketball, football. You get to climb the rock wall as well. And it's never too early to start planning for summer camp.
Yeah, so these are 1-week sessions?
Yes, they're 1-week sessions.
2 in June and 1 in July.
Yes.
So start looking to those now. These are 5-day sessions being offered by Dick's House of Sport. All right, so let's get a little bit into what's happening in the world of basketball with the University of South Florida. C.J. Brown, number 11, if you're watching on television, seeing the games. It's been an interesting couple of years for you here at USF, but why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and how you got to University of South Florida. You're from Marietta, Georgia, correct?
Yes, sir. Marietta, Georgia. I played basketball at Kell High School, and I was recruited by Coach Amir when he was at KSU, probably 2 years before he left.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to the games all the time. He would text me all the time, come to my high school practices. So we really built a bond, and more like a family bond than a coaching bond.
We're going to get into that too because of the tragedy that happened before your first season with Coach Amir, as he passed away unexpectedly during a medical procedure. But it's good to see that when you're talking about him, you light up. You get that big smile. So obviously you did make a connection with him, and that's important. That's why these coaches go and they see the players and get to know them and spend time with them, because your relationship can be very tense and because it's competitive by nature. So being able to understand, respond, and respect is a big deal. So I'm sure that was a huge loss. Coming to the University of South Florida, so he was the reason you chose to come to Tampa Bay area.
Yes, sir, definitely.
And then let's go ahead and get into that then, because you look at the stories and it was like tough year for USF. Turns out that after that you became one of only 2 students from last year, student athletes, that returned to play again this year. what was the deciding factor so that you would stay on as now the veteran team leader, because you had a season, your 2024-2025 season? So what's it like for you being a veteran player now as a sophomore because of what happened?
Definitely a different role that I had last year. I had to step into a leader role, being more vocal, and just being a higher guy with higher expectations for myself. And if you don't have pressure for yourself, you don't really have a role. That's what I like to say.
Right.
So pressure is always good.
Well, yeah, especially if you know how to use it and shape it. So how does Coach Hodgson play into that? Because was he integral in you deciding to stay a USF Bull?
Yes, sir. He definitely was. He would bring me to the gym, and we would have like 1 hour film sessions.
Really?
And watching how the team would play and his style of play and his coaching style. And I really thought I would fit good into it.
You know, it's interesting. You always look for the silver lining, and that may be present here. You know, you lost that relationship with Coach Amir. It forced you to step up. It forced you to assume a leadership role. You had to adapt to a new coaching style and a new individual and develop the bond that you need to be able to respond to each other well. And there's a benefit in that. So even though I know that it probably hurts a lot to think about it, I think you're developing very well. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some of your stats. Those that know me know I'm the guy you bring to your tailgate or your party because I'm going to bring the food. I'm the guy that you want. I even help clean up after. I'm valuable in that way. But I started looking into your stats your freshman year and this year, and it's from a guy that's not a numbers guy. I'll never have a fantasy team. I just can't compute. But looking at you and the stats that have been posted the last 2 years, you started every game this year. Yeah, I think you started all but I think 6 or 7 last year, and you've improved almost across the board in every category. What's that been like? What are you most proud of improvement-wise with the way you're playing right now?
Like I said earlier, just stepping into the point guard 1 role and taking on a higher expectation for myself. Coach Hodgson kept it straightforward with me. He said I would be the guy to have the ball in my hands, and he trusted me with that. So all I can do is trust myself and trust the work that I put in.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Like I said, I'm trying to do my best to understand it. When you're looking, and they already have you career statistics, 2 seasons, and like you said, coming in a tough situation last year. Games played, you played all 31 last year, all 30 this year. Looking across at the minutes on court, scoring, everything's improving. Rebounds, free throw percentage, not too bad. That's the only thing I could do well. I could hit from the line. I was a player only through high school a little bit, spent most of the time on the bench. But if you put me on that free throw line, I could beat all the other guys. That's all I did. They would play, I'd be on side during practice just throwing free throws. And it paid off. If I got in, I'd get fouled and I would score. That's my entire high school career. I'm just as tall as you, 50 pounds heavier. I can't even touch the rim anymore. But it's such a great game, and it's an easy pickup game for kids and to be involved in the community and to see and have role models. And that's a role that you have now as well. Not only you, a student athlete and a veteran on the team, but you have people that are watching you, kids that want to play ball, that want to go to the University of South Florida. Do you ever get a chance to spend time with those young fans after games or around campus?
When we have social outings or we'll walk around the campus and promote other games, I get to interact with other people and normal students, and I think it's great. I think I love doing that. Even feeling like a normal student for a day myself, just going to class and sitting in class, being around people that don't play sports or anything is just great for me.
Well, what is that challenge like then? I always like to talk about the difficulties of being a student athlete because it puts you on a whole nother level. I would imagine that most of your time is stringently regulated. You have to make sure you're in those classes, keeping those GPAs up, study sessions, whatever you need to do to finish your projects. Then basketball, I mean, we're talking elite level, primetime national television, especially once we get to talking about where you're heading now as you're wrapping up the season with your last regular season game tomorrow, and then you've got the conference championship and possibly your first berth to the NCAA, I think, since 2012. So these, not to put the pressure on you, but fingers crossed, believe in you, you can do it. So what challenges do you face as a student athlete to make it all come together, to keep those grades up, to keep focusing on your goals as a student and as a hopeful athlete moving forward?
Time management is probably the biggest skill I can use. My coaches do a good thing setting up my schedule for the day. They'll send out a schedule and let me know what my classes are. They even help me get to my classes on golf courses.
Really?
And everything. So,
Well, it's a little benefit, I guess. Right now, like I said, you went from freshman year, veteran, and they got to make sure that you're going to be on that court as well. Speaking of which, I spoke to a mutual friend from the USF broadcast team, Derek Sharp, said that going into last night's game, you're a little under the weather.
Yes, sir.
Do you have the flu?
I had the flu, tested positive for the flu on Monday.
Okay.
But I'm all good now.
Yeah, it's usually a pretty quick turnaround on something like that. And that's one of those things you have to be dedicated to, especially in a season like this where they look up to you. And we've all had in life to make those decisions to tough it out. So well done. I want to come back in a little bit and start talking about what your next steps are, tomorrow's game, and then the tournaments that you're looking forward to. And I know it's generally just the next game. Let's take care of what's important. And, instead of getting ahead of ourselves. But I want to go back to Keyshawn from Dick's House of Sport and talk about a little bit more about what's going on here. I noticed that you're now going to be offering things like Pilates classes and have trading card events. I mean, this is really becoming more of a community center instead of just a retail store for everything sport. Whether you're doing community sports, playing baseball or league, adults, children, whether it's camping, fishing. I mean, you're covering it all, and now you're bringing in community events like that. That's pretty amazing.
Yes, we love to be the hub of the community here at House of Sport. We have Pilates classes coming up. We have baseball clinics, trading cards events. So if you're into trading cards, we do a pack wars where you can win awesome prizes and giveaways. So there's something for everyone here, from kids to adults. If you come into House of Sport here at International Plaza, or even House of Sport at Brandon Exchange Mall in Brandon, there's always something for you to do.
What is the trading card event like? What's happening on that day? Are you going to have vendors here that are setting up? Are people going to be competing? I know that things get pretty tense with the cards. Is it all levels? Is it also going to branch out into things like Pokemon, or is it going to be sports only?
It's sports only. Our teammates run it, and so they do a pack wars where they're just opening packs, and whoever has a card that they call, they win. We have gift cards. We give other trading cards. So it's just a ton of opportunities to win prizes.
All right. And that event is going to be happening in March this month, March 20th at 6 p.m. if you want to be a part of the trading card event. And I think you've actually got Pilates class coming up. Next week on the 14th will be your first one, 14th and 21st.
Yeah, back-to-back Saturdays.
Yeah, and we are here at Dick's House of Sport International Plaza. How many locations do you have around the Tampa Bay area?
And we have two. So one here where we are at International Plaza, and then also at Brandon Exchange. So not too far from here. You have two options. If you're closer to Brandon, you can visit there. We also have classes, baseball clinics. We have similar events as well. So if you don't want to drive all the way out to Tampa, if you're in Brandon, you have that option as well.
It makes it great because, we've got so many great counties, and we're a little bit spread out. You think mostly, Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, but you get Polk, and it gives people access to come in to one source, especially if you've got big families. You got 4 kids and everybody's in a different sport. That'll drive a parent crazy.
Absolutely.
So you're a great resource. We're going to come back a little bit more near the end and talk about your St. Patty's Day event you have coming up on the 14th as well. I want to go back to you, CJ Brown. Again, thank you for joining us. Sophomore standout, now interestingly veteran. Because of what happened with Coach Amir and how much he was loved, and Coach Hodgson's coming in and doing what he was able to do, pretty solid last year. This year, looking at your record in the conference, you're 14-3 overall, 22-8, which puts you ahead of Tulsa, and you've clinched now. So what is next for USF? Let's talk about, now that you've got that, you do have one game tomorrow. You want to talk about that a little bit? What you're focusing on for that last regular season game?
A lot of people are trying to say not to get ahead of ourselves and just taking one game at a time. So I think we're just focusing on this actually Sunday.
Right, yeah, so the game, I'm sorry, you're right, it's not Saturday, it's Sunday the 8th, it's at 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
I was confusing my men's basketball teams because I'm starting to follow a little more since we've developed this partnership with USF. And I'm looking forward to that game as well. So after Charlotte, and I wish I could remember the coach, and it's exactly what you're talking about. It's a weird saying, the thing that is the thing has to remain the thing. Yes, so right now your next thing is to finish the season strong and healthy. Yes, that has to remain your focus. Then when you get into the conference championship, it's win each game individually. Don't be thinking like, if we win this next game, we're going to maybe get a berth, and you do get ahead, you lose your focus. So that's important. So you're going to work on that game on Sunday, 2 o'clock. and once again, that'll be against Charlotte. And then the conference tournament. So you've secured the top spot in the ACC now. I know we're talking about remaining focused, but what are the conversations like with Coach Hodgson and the coaching staff and your teammates right now?
Taking it one step at a time, one practice at a time, just staying locked in and intense. We've had some success, but we haven't had nearly the success that we want to have so far this year.
Okay, so yeah, it can be a little difficult when you're looking ahead that much. That's why the coaching staff is there, because they'll be able to move into those areas and make sure that they're keeping track of what your opponents are doing, where their strengths and weaknesses are. I'm sure that they have that all kind of drilled down. What else can you tell us about your experience here? I know it's only been a couple of years. Overall, as a student athlete, and you said you have those days where you go out to support other teams. What other sports do you like to follow at USF? I mean, because the conference is growing, USF is growing. You've got your own football stadium just a season away. After this next season here, 2026 and 2027, you will have your own stadium on campus, which is amazing for students.
Yes, sir.
What's the feel like around basketball and sports in general at USF?
It's great. All the sports teams and sports players support each other.
Yeah.
So any given day, I can go to a lacrosse game or a football game and watch my friends go out there and just have fun and play and compete. So it's just great being able to support other student athletes at the school.
Yeah. So, what would be your choices then? I mean, what's the rooming situation like? Do you mix teams, or do you stay within basketball? With dorms and such, or is it kind of they mixing you up so that you have the experience of all the other athletes that are on campus?
For basketball, we just live by ourselves and with other basketball. But I know for other teams, sports teams, I know like volleyball girls have stayed with like lacrosse girls, or soccer girls have stayed with like softball girls. So it's kind of different depending on what sports teams you're on.
But I imagine it's great, that, of course, students have access to these at discounted prices and everything. You get your student activity fees, and you can go and take in some amazing top-tier sporting events, and having them all move to campus is going to be pretty amazing. Looking back at this particular season, we've talked about the challenges you have, having to step up as a leader. Again, who was the other returning player from last season?
Deontay Green.
Deontay Green. And how is he handling his co-leadership role with you?
Yeah, it's great. He took this year out to heal his Achilles.
Yeah.
So he's really being more of like a coaching role and standing with the staff, and on the bench he'll let you know when you come out the game what you can do better, or just holding people accountable, and it goes a long way.
Well, because he knows what you're in, and he can see what you can't happening around you,
sir.
And that's a valuable thing, especially when you have that tight teammate relationship. The band of brothers concept. So, with all the new players coming on board this season, how do you feel about the development becoming obviously you've clinched the top seed in the conference championship. You're playing well together, so I would imagine that the relationships off the court as well are developing strongly.
It's great. I can really call them my brothers, even though I haven't even known them for a full year.
Yeah.
I feel like I know them for 3, and we've been playing together for 5 years. So.
Well, it's because they isolate you, and all you're doing is school and basketball. Do you get any time for yourself?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah, but not a whole lot, because even when you're going out and you're supporting the other teams, it's still as a unit,
Yes, sir.
and which is good. And you're getting that experience, and you're having being exposed to those other sports and what it's like for those athletes, because sometimes the mentality changes with the discipline and the exercise that changes. So looking back at this season, are there moments that stand out to you, both for the team and for yourself personally, as leveling up your accomplishments? What stands out this season?
I really want to say preseason, before the season even started.
Really?
Like going back to our summer practices, probably the hardest practices I've had in my life. And just being able to look to my left and my right and seeing the people that I'm on the court with now go through it with me. Like, we go to a retreat for 3 days, no cell phone, no electronics, it's just us. We go through like Navy SEAL training in a lake. It's crazy, but at least I get to do it with my brothers, and we go through it and endure it together.
See, that's why you're doing it, though, because you're building, and you had a very short time to build a team. On average, I wouldn't know, how many people would you expect to return from one season to another? Seniors graduate and move on, or you have teams that go, you have players that decide to shift. You had 2 return, and Coach Amir was at the center of that, unfortunately. How many would you expect? Like, how many do you think will return next year from this season?
This season, probably, I'll say a good 6 or 7.
Yeah, see, that's just much stronger, and that changes the dynamic. And I think that's probably a good reason why you guys had those little boot camp experiences, not only because that's when you really can train hard. You got to find your weaknesses, make sure you shore them up, strengthen them, because some of us will, like if I was running suicides, I'd be slagging. I'm always the last guy to hit that line, It's not my thing, so they would push me harder, I know what that's like.
Yeah.
So you have that, you get pushed, you have those different experiences, you bond over that, and then it makes you, and I think that's why you guys gelled so well this season. Coming through as you did just is amazing. So, looking at, let's see, I have it here somewhere, the overall schedule and the accomplishments as I was going through. 14-3 in the conference, 22-8 overall, 12-2 at home, 9-3 away. And your win streak was 8. I think the next closest that I saw was probably 5 wins. That's some consistent play while you're a student athlete in this situation. So very, very proud. Is there anything you'd like to share about USF that maybe someone like me or people in the community wouldn't know your experiences as a student or athlete? What stands out to you that makes the school so special?
Just the support and the love that you get all around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's an area where I feel like, kind of lonely, or I don't have somebody to talk to.
Right.
I always have somebody to talk to, whether it's on my sports team, on another sports team, even my tutor, academic advisor. There's just a lot of love and caring going around at USF.
That's fantastic, and that's what we want to see in the community. And then it's players like you, as I've had a chance to interview someone from the Lady Bulls basketball team and a player from football, and they all have the same kind of a thing. It's like the community that you develop, and it just elevates your spirit, and then you go out and do the same thing. You lift someone up, they lift you up, the community comes along with you. I'm going to come back in for some last thoughts with you in a little bit, so if there's anything I haven't asked you that you'd like people to know about you or about the Bulls, that would be great. I really would, it's kind of like looking ahead, we're all like, oh, you've done well, do well in the conference tournament, we're going to see you in the NCAA, and who knows, and it lifts our spirit. And I know you can't really get deep into it because you're focused on Sunday. So think about anything in general you'd like to share about yourself in the University of South Florida. And I'm going to come back again a little bit to Keyshawn Hepburn with Dick's House of Sport because I want to go over, again, just for those that may be joining us now, all the things that you offer regularly, and then we'll wrap up with the St. Patty's Day event you have. So again, explain to those that might be new what Dick's House of Sport is all about. More than just a retail store for sporting goods. It's a family of sporting. So explain the cages, the testing, the experts. Hit us with it all.
Everything, yes. It's more than just a retail space. It's for the community. It's a hub for the community. We offer experiences, the field, the rock wall, the cage, the golf bays. We also have clinics throughout the month. We have family-friendly events. We'll have summer camps. So just a big offering of things that you can enjoy both at House of Sport Tampa and House of Sport Brandon.
Have you done the rock wall yourself?
I have not.
Why not?
I will soon. I know I was going to do it before the store officially opened, and I never got a chance to do it. So I have not been on the rock wall.
Don't you think you need to, so you can give a good explanation to newbies?
Maybe I'll get on soon. You got to get on with me, Shriner.
I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
do it anytime. Heck, I had the Golden Knights ask me to jump with them one day for 4th of July, and my company said no for insurance reasons. I'll just climb with you and not tell them I'm going to do it.
Sounds good.
Let's talk a little bit about spring training as well, because that's underway, and you have a Yankees spring training breakout game.
Yes.
That's going to be, I believe, on March 21st. What are you going to be doing with the Yankees?
Yeah, so we partner with the Yankees and the Tampa Tarpons, their minor league team. We are the presenting sponsor for their upcoming MLB spring breakout game. So it's just a game where top prospects in baseball, they get to show their talents, and they play the game. So Dick's House of Sport will have a presence there at the stadium. We'll have a table and tent. We'll give out some free promo items and just speak to some of the offerings that we have, the camps, clinics, birthdays, all the things House of Sport has to offer.
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity to get to know the store and some of the employees and what you offer by taking in a game.
Yes.
I got to say, growing up, spring training in Florida has always been crucial, and we used to go see the Phillies play when they were in Clearwater at Jack Russell Stadium off Greenwood there, and I have all those fond memories of hanging out. They used to let you sit on the dugout and talk to the players.
Wow.
You get those, Mike Schmidt, Greg Lazinski, Tug McGraw after he pitched a game-winning World Series, and get this autograph and during the game. Pete Rose never would give me his autograph.
Oh, man.
He did give me a common worldwide known hand gesture, though, after I hung upside down for 3 innings begging for an autograph. But I have that memory, core memory. So getting to know players and spending time, whether they're rude or not, is just such a big thing of being a kid and growing up and finding your role models and your passion for sports. So I'm so glad that you're not only here in the store, but you get out in the community and people can learn about it, because Dick's has been such a vital part over the years. I grew up knowing him as Sporting Goods, and now it's the House of Sports, and you offer so much more to help kids and adults better their game, be the best they can at it. You do have the St. Patty's Day event on March 14th coming up next week. What are you planning for that? I know it's 6 p.m., so it's at the end of the day, middle week.
Yes, so it's next Saturday. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a free event, family friendly. We'll have some free vendors, snow cones. We'll have a craft table. We'll have some yard games out on the field, a DJ. So just a fun time to come out and celebrate St. Patrick's Day early. We'll also have a shamrock climb, so that may be another opportunity to get on the rock wall. And the winner who has the fastest climb will win a prize as well. So really just some great offerings for St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I'm glad. You're really looking at ways to bring the community together, and that's fantastic. And I also want to thank Dick's House of Sport for being such a great sponsor of the University of South Florida and Florida Alumni Radio 1010 AM as we grow together and try to bring everybody on awareness of what you are offering here. And then, of course, student athletes like CJ Brown with the University of South Florida Bulls men's basketball team. Finishing up, I think you had it clinched like 3 weeks ago. You would clinch your spot, but now you're going to be at the top of the conference play. I know there's still some games to be played. Do you know who you might be facing in the first round yet? And just because this is not the kind of thing I keep in mind, is it single elimination when you get to that conference tournament?
It is single elimination, but we don't know who we're going to play yet
Too
until
early.
everybody's done.
Everybody's got to be done, and they got to figure out what's going to be coming. Well, you've had a great season, so hopefully you'll be able to continue. I guess you'll be facing all familiar teams, which gives you probably an advantage looking at the stats. But you need to stay healthy, all right? So, no more flu. Let's keep you strong, because we love to see you doing well. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not a stats guy, but when I see what you're doing and I see your improvement year to year across the board and all the statistics, that's what you want to see in one of your hometown, inspirations, which is what you're becoming. Don't forget that as kids are watching you and high school students are watching and you're in their hometown, you're inspiring them to move forward in the pursuit of the sport, because it is an incredible challenge just to get to the collegiate level. To become a professional athlete, looking at your future goals, I forgot to ask you, what are you studying to go along with your athletic aspirations?
I'm in communications right now, but I changed my major probably 3 or 4 times.
Well, that's going to happen. By the time I didn't really figure it out either. I didn't know I would